Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I start any broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power of Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom, Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah. I'm joined this evening by my most esteemed Kenaniah. Shalom, my king.
Hey, shalom, shalom, my key. Shalom, shalom, y'all's people.
All praises to the Most High. Yeah, Khan, we have been sitting up and chopping for almost an hour and a half. This is the fellowship that brothers be needing, and when
Yeah,
we finally
con.
get together, it's so beautiful to just to run over so many different things and just to, excuse me, slick up, to be able to, just share ideas and situations in the week and so on and so forth. So it's definitely a barakah whenever you can get together with like-minded mishpachah, and none better than my Kenaniah. So all praises to the Most High. Um, let's we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just sharing a couple of platforms here, just sharing a couple of platforms so that everybody everywhere can see what we're about to get into on this evening. And all right, I got everything I needed. Let me close this up. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get straight to it, and we're going to get into Leviticus. Last week we covered um, about 7 chapters, or we did three and then four.
Yeah,
Um,
con.
yeah, so 7 chapters last week. This today we're going to do three again, I'll be willing, and then we'll do probably another four tomorrow. Leviticus is going pretty quick, pretty smooth. Not a whole lot to dig through thus far. There's a lot of surface level, but as we see, and we'll continue to build. So let's go ahead and get to it and give praise to the Most High just for another day, another opportunity to get into this word. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. All right, so this is the law of motherhood. So this is Leviticus chapter number 12 and verse number 1. It says, And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a male child, when she then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation from her uh, infirmity. Is that right? Infirmity.
Yeah, con.
Uh, shall she be unclean? So we see right off the bat here that he's giving us specific information on having children, something Israel has been very good at over these years, over these generations. So we all are here for this very reason, and most of us didn't come through this way, but this is how it's supposed to be done for this nation of people. Verse 3, it says, And in the 8th day, uh, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. I think I heard a brother say that it's not commanded in the script. Well, it's actually Leviticus chapter 12 and verse 3. The eighth
Indeed.
day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. That is Torah. That is a law.
Mm-hmm.
So that's mandated with us. Uh, I don't think that I was done the 8th day, but I certainly was done. And thankfully, most high, that's what that was the case. And I actually have an interesting story kind of in that, but I'm not going to share it on this. But maybe I'll share it with my children when I get older. When they get older, I should say. But let's continue. Verse number 4. It says, And she shall then continue in the blood of her purification, but of her purifying 3 and 30 days. So she got 33 days. She shall not. She shall touch no hollow thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purity be fulfilled. So during this 33 days, she is set apart from, she is put apart from everything Kodesh,
Mm-hmm.
everything that is set apart. She cannot have any dealings with it. Okay? All right, verse 5. Um, but if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks as in her separation, and shall continue in her blood of purity 60 days. So 2 weeks, 60 days. We know a score is 20. So that's
Mm-hmm.
60, that's 60 and 6 days. So 2 weeks and 66 days. So that's 14 days on top of 2 weeks, on top of 66.
It
So
can.
66 plus
It's
14
80 days.
is 80 days, which is equivalent to what? Weeks, months of it? 4 weeks,
Uh, it's like 2.5.
2.5 months.
It can.
Okay. So with the male child, we're talking 30 days. And yeah, months, we're talking 2.5. For the female child, about 2.5 months. So it's a little bit different for a male and a female. And I shouldn't even say this, but it takes me back to, um, I imagine they probably got that from this. The Smurfs. Remember the Smurfs? They had, forgive me, I was a child at one time. But Smurfs had all of these males, and then they had this one female. And
Indeed.
I remember an episode when they were going to try to make another female, and
Mm-hmm.
Papa Smurf was like, "This is incredibly hard to do, or whatever the case, and it takes so much of this and that." And I'm thinking that's where they got that from because it was so much more uh, involved with having a daughter than it was with having a son. You only had a month with a son. With a daughter, you got 2.5 months. So more than twice the time, to be unclean, to be separated from the camp, from anything set apart, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where my mind went to the Smurfs. That's right. All right, verse number 6. It says, "And when the days of her purity are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest, the Kohen." Wow, this chapter was 8. I didn't realize
Is,
that.
but the next two are lengthy.
Lengthy, okay, kind. I didn't even, I slick. I should have looked at it. I didn't even look at it. That's my bad. But let's continue. Verse 7. Who shall offer who shall offer it before Yahuwah and make atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from her issue of blood. This is the law for her that bore a male or a female. And if she is not able to bring a lamb, she shall bring two turtles, such turtle doves,
Mm-hmm.
or two young pigeons, and one for a burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Now,
All praises to the Most High for making a way for all His people.
hallelujah, yes indeed. This is ironic though, that she's bringing a sin offering and a burnt offering for having a child. You know, this is uh,
Yeah,
this is kind of ironic, but this is again the Most High will tell us what His ways are not our ways. So
indeed, indeed.
if that's what
You
He
know,
say, that's what He requires, and that's what it is.
indeed, and what I'm thinking also is it's like one of those things. Even when we're commanded to be fruitful and multiply, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we're actually doing the deeds to actually being fruitful and multiplying,
Yes,
there's a point where we're unclean,
yes, yes, indeed.
uh, and these are things that we are Yah willing that we will return to,
Right,
and we don't have absolute understanding at this point. You know what I
right.
mean? But all these things will be revealed to us, and we just got to trust the Abba on these things.
All
Abba
praises. Yes,
knows
indeed.
best.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And whatever his reasoning, whatever his logic is for making it what it is, we're his creation. So we're
Indeed.
subject to him. And if he said that's what it is, then that's what it is. So you
Con.
know, who are we to question? Does the potter have? Can the potter say to? Can the clay say to the potter, "Why you made me thus"? Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
not. You
Con.
say
That's
you
the
want
word.
clean, you want clean. That's
Yeah,
what it
con.
is. So let's go to chapter 13. I see what you said when you said lengthy. Whew, yeah, that's gonna be a mouthful.
Con. Con.
It's gonna be a mouthful here, but let's get to it. The test for leprosy. It's Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 1. It says, "And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe and Aharon, saying, When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall bring, then, sneak out, then he shall be brought unto Aharon the priest, or unto one of the sons of the priest." Verse 3. "And the priest shall look at the plague of the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague is in the sight, be deeper in the skin of his flesh, it is the plague, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean." Verse 4. "If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof not turn white, then the priest shall shut him. Uh, then the priest shall shut him that have the plague 7 days."
Okay.
So we see here.
So
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to see. So we see here that that we're getting into the time frame as for separation in this situation here. Um, you had something?
Well, I was saying that to me appears to be two different things. Like one of them is a plague, and the other it says it calls it leprosy.
Hmm.
Am I right or wrong? Is that accurate?
Let's look at it. Let's look at it one more time, just so we get some good understanding here. Um, Verse 3. It says, "And the priest." Uh, yeah, I lost my cursor. Here it is. Okay, verse. Let's look at verse 2. Start at verse 2 again. It says, "When a man shall have in his skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh, like
Hmm.
that was added, and it be in the skin of his flesh, the plague of leprosy, that like was added." That's why it's in italics like that.
Con.
Um, "Then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or to one of the sons of the priest, and the priest shall look at the plague." So first thing, if he noticed something that shouldn't be there, go to the priest, and the priest is going to look at it in the skin. And when the hair of the plague is turned white, so the hair is turned white, and the plague is in the sight to be deeper than the skin, so it looks like it's deeper in his skin than just this one spot. Looks like it's deeper. So remember, we're talking about black people, and
Hmm.
so when you look at this thing, you're seeing a deep white spot. It looks to be deeper than
Hmm.
uh, the skin of his flesh. It is the plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. So if it meets this criteria, if it's deeper than the skin of his flesh, and if it's a thin white hair, especially, it is the plague of leprosy. Verse 4, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight not deeper than the skin.
See, so like the first one was deeper than the skin.
Hmm.
This one is not deeper.
Not deeper in the skin. Kind. Uh, and the hair thereof be not turned white, the priest shall shut him up that have the plague 7 days. So it didn't say that this is the plague of leprosy here. It said that
Con.
this may be like the beginning of it. So if they
Mm-hmm.
isolate him, well, this may be the well, it didn't say if this is the contagious part of it, but this did say shut him up 7 days. So obviously, you shut him up is because you try to keep it from spreading.
Con.
You know,
It's some type of uncleanliness.
yeah. It didn't say leprosy right at this point. So I see where you was asking that because so I had to go back and look at it for clarity.
Con.
Uh, 'Cause this is something that we do not deal with at this at this juncture. I don't think you see and you see people like this from time to
Mm-hmm.
time, but they call it something else now. They don't call it leprosy; they call it something else. Verse 5, it says, what do they call it? Villalago?
Yeah, con.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah, kind of. That's what they're calling it now. So, verse 5, I don't know where the heck they got that name from. Verse 5, it says, and the priest shall look on him the seventh day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 more days. So he's put away 7 days, and if it hasn't done anything, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, if I understand that, if I'm going to understand what I'm reading here, be at a stay, meaning it's staying consistent. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just right where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then the plague, and the plague spread not, meaning that's reiterating, it's staying in the same spot. It's just that one spot in the skin. Then the priest shall shut him up 7 more days. So the priest gonna say, okay, 7 more days, you stay right here. And they out here with these fireworks. All right, I heard it was a
Okay.
boom, and I don't know if you heard that on the microphone, but verse 6, it says, and the priest shall look at him again the seventh day. So this is really the 14th day, but in 7 more days, the priest gonna look at him again, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean.
All
It is
praises. All
but a scab.
con. You
So,
know this.
oh, go ahead.
To me, reading this, this is
Mm-hmm.
it's talking about the true identity of the children of Israel as well.
Con, con,
Uh, they have melanin in their skin.
con.
Different tones, but there's
Def-
definitely some color to our people.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, this is not even prevalent. This is not even possible with Caucasian people. You
Con.
know, this is not even. No, this would you wouldn't couldn't tell. There's no way possible. But he said it's just a scab. And me being a red brother, and I'm sure for dark skinned brothers, you get a little scrape, a little anything, and make a little spot, and you like, that kind of look out of place. Like a little something right here. But you like, that look out of place. I wonder what that is. And you might not be shut up for 7 days, but you look at it, some other time later, and you're like, still nothing. Like, oh, it's just a scab.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what the Levites will do. The Levites come look. Like, let me see what that is.
Right. I got a like what I got an image in my head how they
Right.
might be checking them out. It's like what you done got into, boy.
Yeah, yeah. They looking at it like, examining it like, the sons of
What you
Aaron.
what you done done?
Like, so where you been at? Where you been at? You been out the camp?
Right, God, God.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Uh, that just read six. Yeah,
Con.
yeah. Okay, so we at seven. Okay, I can move it up. But this is verse seven. Uh, it says, "But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he had been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again." So now if they look at it and realize it's not a scab and it's starting to spread, they're gonna take a look at him again.
Yeah, kind. You got to go outside the camp at
Yeah,
some
you have
point.
to
I
go
want
out.
to say.
Yeah, as we're getting to that. Verse 8, it says, "And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spread in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy." We got a leper here, unclean
Mm-hmm.
leper here. Verse 9, "And the plague of leprosy," so look out, "when the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be a quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And shall not shut him up.
Hmm.
Okay, I think this was okay. Maybe they're gonna get into him having to go out. Uh, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see here. Just a moment. My eyelashes are treating me. Tell you worst times for everything. Um, he is unclean. Verse 12. I don't think I've read this whole chapter at all. I don't know how it had eluded me, but you know, we read Leviticus 11 a bunch of times, but 13, I don't think we've looked at this extensively. I know I haven't. Verse 12. It says, "And if a leprosy break out abroad the skin, abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague, for his head, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean, and have the uh, clean that have the leprosy." So once he done turned completely white, now he's clean. It is, oh, Shalika, it is all turned white. He is clean. Let me read that
Mm.
again, Spoon. I need to stop trying to break it down while I'm reading it. But okay, verse 13. You still with me?
Yeah, con,
Okay,
con.
come on. I couldn't tell if I got real quiet. 13. It says, "Then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is all turned white. He is clean." So all of his skin is now white. So that's the end of the leprosy, as I see that one,
Con.
because they don't have anywhere else to move. So it took all his melanin. So now he is white as snow, leprous as snow.
And like you said, that still happens with some of our people.
Yeah,
You know.
kind. And you see some people. I saw one recently. It was a woman, and that question they had on there. Isn't she still beautiful, even though she has, these spotches, like part of her, she's like a Dalmatian almost,
Mm-hmm.
part white, and then, and I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, that's literally what it looks like. I mean, she's got, you know, dark spots. She's got white looking spots, and they were like, isn't she still beautiful? I'm like, that would be, I don't know, I don't know.
That's different. That's different.
It's different,
There's a
yeah.
well-known, pretty famous model
Mm,
that's become very popular within the last 5 to 10 years. I've seen her a few times, like on different programs, and just talking about her condition and how she was people didn't feel like there was any beauty in her.
mm.
You know what I mean? And she's
That
like I
might have been
said,
her.
she's yeah,
She had that they were calling it vitiligo.
yeah, kind.
Okay, kind. Yeah, yeah. They're not gonna say it's leprosy because they try to take that away from us and call it something different. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
the term vitiligo came from. I guess that's something that we should look into, but not in this lengthy chapter. we will
Kind.
we'll have to look at that. Yeah, some other time. Verse 14. But when the flesh, but when the raw, sleeper. But when raw flesh appear in him, he shall be unclean. So if it looks like it's raw, meaning it kind of looks, it don't look
Open.
like solid skin like what you used to
Mm-hmm.
seeing. If it looks like it's, I don't say scabby, but
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in my head, like some type of where you can see like the under your skin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, basically like it's not, yeah, like it's breaking down. Basically, that's the
mm-hmm.
melanin leaving it. I think that's where you're contagious. So, verse 15. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean. It is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again and change unto white, he shall come unto the priest. Again, you got skin turning white. That can only happen to people with out white skin.
Indeed.
Verse 17. Slick eye. I gotta say this. I watched there was a old movie. I want to say it was supposed to be biblical. It was a biblical movie, and one of the had it was about somebody that had leprosy, that had leprosy, and of course it was Caucasian people playing it. And so when uh, they showed his face. Oh yeah, leprosy, and they finally saw him, and his face was all deformed, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like red. His skin was really red and like raw looking, which I guess they tried to do some of this, but it was already white folks, and I can't remember what movie it was,
It
but
was a kingdom of they call it Kingdom of Heaven,
oh, was that
and
what it was?
yeah,
Okay,
he was the king of Jerusalem.
okay, kind.
Yep.
So that's why I saw it. Okay, okay, yeah, I remember seeing that. I just didn't remember what it was at, but okay, kind. Yeah, that's actually I think that's actually running on TV now, like on HBO or one of
No
those
doubt.
channels now. So,
It kind.
verse 17, it says, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned unto white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that have the plague, he is clean. So either when your skin is normal, then you clean, or when your skin turns solid white and it goes back normal, there's no more raw skin, then you clean. So the raw skin make you unclean, or the presence of the changing can have you unclean. So, um, verse 18. It says, "The flesh also, in which, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed." Okay, the flesh also in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. And in the place of the boil there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest. And if the priest see it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil. And I got a visual on that. That wasn't pretty. Uh,
Con.
verse 21. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower in the skin, but somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. And say what kind of plague? It's just
Right,
saying a
right.
plague. Verse 23. But if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil. Burning boil, that sounds horrible. And the priest shall pronounce him clean. So if it
You know
stay,
what?
go ahead.
I want to see what that word is. Burning boil
Okay,
or burning,
let's take a look at it.
because burning is when I think about it, like that's something that you feel. It's not something that I
You
don't
see,
know. All
yeah, they
right.
using it as a adjective. That is
To Zarabeth.
Cesare. Now,
Scab of
scab,
sword.
scar, or sore,
Con.
burning, uh, scorching.
So like
Mm,
that, yeah, that's like when we get a scab sometimes, that's kind of what it looks like. It's different from the rest of the skin. It's kind of dried up, like it's dried, burnt skin. Like you know what I
right.
mean? That's what it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And it's surprising you can get these things and don't even know where it came from.
indeed.
Like, what the heck is this? It's a scab?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's attributed to being a man, you know. Something
Mm-hmm.
happened, you didn't even know what happened. It just happened. Um, verse 24. Or if there be in the flesh, if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, that's it.
It happens too. Like in all the times that happens, it's like it's like a laceration. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
some type of cut or some
Yeah,
type of where the skin underneath is exposed. It'll
yeah,
burn to the touch if you were to touch it. You know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I imagine because there's a doctrine that has perpetuated through Israel that the Canaanites, the reason that this was such a thing is because the Canaanites had came in contact and they had been dealt with leprosy, and it was prevalent in the land. And I believe we're going to get into destroying other buildings and I think even burying. I don't know if it's this chapter or the next chapter, even burying, breaking down the house and burying it, and like putting it in the ground and like uh, maybe even marking it off. I may be mistaken, but
Hmm.
yeah, I remember seeing some of that before. I just can't remember the details. It's kind of vague to me. But let's continue here. It says, verse 24, or if any of the flesh in the skin thereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burn have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and be in the sight deeper than the skin, it is leprosy broken out of the burning. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. Look, just reading this, I'm like scratching my. I feel like just I feel unclean. I'm ready for a shower right now.
Right, right. Go make me want to go wash my
You know,
face.
you know what I'm saying? For real. Verse
Uh,
26. It says, but if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the seventh day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy. It is the plague of leprosy.
mm-hmm.
I wonder if this is something we're gonna have to deal with in the wilderness. If this is gonna be like I just imagine what's gonna be in the wilderness. It's probably not gonna be pretty. Um, Verse 28. We're gonna be so close to redemption, and you're gonna have all of these so-called Negroes together, and then some other people that are genetically Negroes that are other people. They look like other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were talking about actually, guy, and I'm going off here, but they were showing Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin had a black dad, went with a white woman, had him. You know who Blake Griffin is, the basketball player?
Yeah, con.
Yeah. So he got a white woman and had a child.
And
Now,
that child don't look even like it's got any Negro in him.
exactly, exactly. And now what you think that child gonna do? You think that child gonna go find a black woman? Probably not.
Nah,
Probably
nah.
gonna keep mixing out, and that seed is. I mean, the Y chromosome don't change. You know what I'm saying? So if he's of the nation of Israel, which most likely he is, that's why they doing this
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff. You know, he's gonna be all into a whole other. He look completely different. But when we get to the wilderness, it's gonna be them. Some of them gonna be
Yep.
there,
Yeah, con.
and you're gonna be looking at them like, what the white man doing here?
Right.
Like,
I can only imagine how some brothers act. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, this white man over here,
Right.
like they was doing the UPK on that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, oh, they have me. They have me. That's something else. It's something to see it in person. It's one thing to see it on TV, but to see it in person, it's
Yeah,
like,
con.
yeah, they had nobody interested. Nobody was watching. It was just like, don't even look over there. Just ignore them and they'll go away.
Right, right.
Yeah. Verse 28. Silly guy. Verse 28. It says, and if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is an inflammation of the burning. So it's just an inflammation, swelling, or, that type of thing. It's not a plague. So, verse 29, the priests had to be doctors. You
Yeah,
know,
indeed.
that's what I'm
Yep.
seeing here. The priests are the doctors of the. Hey, come look at this bump.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be ready for everything. Not only that, all them sacrifices, they had to be ready for all of this type of stuff. So, verse 29. It says, if a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in the sight deeper than the skin, and there be a yellow thin hair, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scale, a dry scab, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. It's nice to see beard in there. Nice to
Con.
see that term. Verse 31. I can't imagine me without a beard anymore. I used to be clean faced, and I can't imagine it anymore. Verse 31. It says, and if the priest look on the plague and, on the plague of the scalp, and behold, it be not in the sight deeper than the skin, then there is no black hair in it, the priest shall shut him that have the plague of the scalp 7 days, of the scalp 7 days. And in the seventh day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scalp spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scalp be in the sight deeper than the skin, and it's slick eye, I read that wrong. Let me read that again. We start here at behold, if the scalp spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scalp be not in sight deeper than the skin. Sometimes when I read stuff, I'll like look ahead as opposed to looking straight across. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how I do that, but I don't know. It's strange. But verse 33, he shall be shaven, but the scalp shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up, Shalika, shall shut up him that had the scale 7 days more. See, I just did
I,
it there. I said, shut
hey,
him up. Good.
con. I was gonna see if we could see what that scowl
Scale.
is,
Oh,
get a better understanding.
let's take a look at that. Yeah, scale. Let
Nah, thick.
that. That. Okay. Scab, skin
Skin
eruption,
eruption.
scab of
Hmm.
leprosy. Eruption in the skin, head, or beard, causing, um,
This almost sounds like because we do have these beards now.
yeah.
Ingrown hair sometimes will cause like a scabbing like around the beard line somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I think, honestly, I've had less bumps with my beard than I had without
Hmm.
it. Used to when you shaved it. When I shaved it, I never used a razor on my face because it would. The one time I had, or the one or two times I did, it was bad. But I could use a razor on my sideburns, like to about this point, and the rest of that had to be trimmed off with
Hmm.
clippers because it had to leave. Because if you take all that down, and any time I've had a barber cut into my hair and then that growing back, oh, that is so irritating. So yeah, I definitely that. But when your beard is in and it's not been bothered, meaning it's you haven't let anybody cut into it. Um, I haven't experienced that. Um, it's definitely better with it than it is without it. Um, as far as you know what I'm saying, as far as irritation goes.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Uh, we can leave off 33.
7 more days, con.
Okay. So 34. And it says, verse 34, and in the seventh day the priest shall look on the scale, and behold, If the scale, if the scale be not spread in the skin, nor be in the sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scale spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look at him, and behold, the scale be spread in the skin. The priest shall not seek for yellow hair; he is unclean.
Hmm.
So if it's spread, you ain't gotta look for that yellow hair. He just unclean.
You already know. Yep.
Yeah, he's already like I thought it was good, and he's not. Unclean. Verse 37. But if but if the scale be in his sight at the stay, and there and that there is a black hair growing up therein, the scale is healed. He is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. So now you get a black hair. So imagine though. Now again, this is I have to think of this being his family, but thinking about us in this captivity. Imagine, the priests, the other nations. They could just say whatever they want to say about you, and you got whatever it is that they say you got. They just pronouncing whatever on you, shutting you up 7 days, doing whatever they want to do to you. This wouldn't be the case with us because, of course, it's his family. But
Hmm.
just imagine that and how they could really just, if the Levites wanted if the priests wanted to be dirty, they could say you had anything, shut you up 7 days, another 7 days after that, and pronounce you unclean.
Here
And
it come.
yeah, you just like what? That's nothing. Like no, you unclean. Like
Well,
what? That's what it is. So, but verse 38 sad. I think like that. that's what that's what happened when you're in captivity.
indeed. My
uh,
my earphones are gone dead. So I got you on speaker again.
okay, con. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll keep it clean. That's verse 38. It says, if a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be dark white, be darkish white, it is a freckle spot that groweth in the skin. He is clean. And look, they try to say black people ain't got freckles. We see it in the script, a freckled spot.
Yeah, come.
I got freckles.
Indeed. I
That's
know plenty of people do.
kind. Yeah. A harmless eruption in the skin spot. This is Bohak.
Bohak. Bohak.
Bohak. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Bohak. Khan. I think this is go back. I think this is the only spot that this is it. Khan, Leviticus. Yep. So right. Leviticus 13 and right where we at. Only spot is mentioned.
Hmm.
Look, that's what happened when you go through the book like this and really try to get some understanding. You see
Indeed.
freckles. And I'm riddled with freckles. So verse 40, it says, and the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet he is clean. That's me. Verse 41, and he that have his hair falling off from part of his head towards his face, he is forehead bald. That's me right there. That's me, forehead bald. Yet he is clean. I'm forehead bald, but I'm clean. I praise it. Verse 42. And if there be in the in it sleek on, and if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish, be white reddish in the bald head or in the bald forehead, as the leprosy appeared on the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. Verse 45. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and cry, unclean, unclean. He shall put a covering upon his upper lip.
It's like a face mask.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so this is to let people know that you got, wow, wow, okay. Let's continue. Verse 46. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp. Shall his habitation be. The garments also that the plague of the leprosy is in, whether it be woolen garments or linen garments. There we see that again, woolen and linen. Woolen, of course, comes from an animal,
Hmm.
and linen, of course, comes from the ground, from the plants.
And I remember
So,
you bringing that out before as well.
kind. Yeah, we see that again. That's the contrast. We don't see linen and cotton. We see woolen and linen.
Hmm.
So, definitely making a distinction of those two types of garments there. Verse 48, whether it be in the wrap or wolf. Uh, wolf?
It looked like wolf to me.
I'm like, what? Okay, okay. So look, I'm like, is that wolf? Am I looking at that right? Is that the right word? Okay. Whether it be in the wrap or woof of linen or of woolen, whether in the skin or in the thing made of the skin. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment or the skin, whether in the wrap or in the wool or in the wolf or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy and shall be shown unto the priest. What is that wolf? Let's see what that is.
It con.
That is, I'm like, a wolf? Is that wolf?
I don't think we've seen that before at all.
Look, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wolf like a dog, wolf, wolf.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I
As a,
read.
when I said wolf, of course I thought about the four-legged dog, but that's WOLF. But
Hmm.
when I see WOOF, that's like a wolf, like wolf.
It con.
Uh,
It read.
yeah. I let's see how they say it. I read. Yeah, it is. This is the same as edit. Interesting. Wolf as mixed, interwoven, knitted material, mixture, mixed people, mixed company. Add up. First Kings 10:15, mixture, or, or Mongol race.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
And it sounds like Arab, Arab.
Add up.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then
I
we
think
there we have it,
I think it's the
Arabian.
same word. I think it's the very same word. I've been looking at it here. See it here in Exodus, Chronicles, Nehemiah, Yirmiyahu. Uh, let's come down a little bit. I think this is the very same word. Um, wolf a couple times. Wolf here. Wolf Leviticus, Nehemiah. Yep. Add up mixed multitude. That's the same exact word. That is the very, very same word. Mingled people of the desert that dwell in the desert, kings of Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
Araba, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert. Khan, yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Indeed, that's deep, Bart. That's deep.
Yeah, Khan, yes indeed, yes indeed. Yeah, it will be interesting too. Uh, Khan, okay. Wow, that's my first time seeing that wolf though. Haven't seen it used like that, but interesting. Verse 50. It says, and the priest shall look upon the plague and shut up it that have the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague in the seventh day. And if the plague be spread in the garment, even in the wrap, or in the woof, or in the skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a uh-oh, fretting, fretting leprosy. It
Mm-hmm.
is unclean. Fretting leprosy. I bet that means like spreading or contagious type fretting. Let's see what that is.
Mara.
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 Fine. Uh, to, to pain, prick,
Mm-hmm.
irritate, be in pain. Oh, that's what that means. I was wrong. I thought it would mean like spreading. Now it means painful. Uh,
Con.
they have primitive group that are, okay. All right, let's continue. Verse 52. He shall therefore burn the garment, whether wrap or woof, and woven in woolen or in linen, or anything of the skin, wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy. It shall be burned in the fire. So you got to get rid of that one. If you get that one, yeah, that one got to go. Can't keep that going. And they didn't have you know garments like we got today. They had to you had to make it. You couldn't go buy it because somebody made it for you. They was mass
Con.
producing. You had to make your own stuff. And we remember we read if they give you his coat, you can't keep it into the night. You got to give it back before the sun go down. Like I wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
take it. I'd be like, hey, just pay me my money back. Don't worry about it. You know,
Right. Right.
you know, don't even give it to me because I don't want to. Well, if I can't catch you for the night go out, I wouldn't even
Con.
do that. So, verse 53, it says, and if the priest shall look and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, neither in the wrap nor the woof, in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on the plague after that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed its color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it with fire. It is a fretting inward, whether it be bare within or without. So apparently this thing is so bad it'll change the color of a garment.
Mm.
Wow, that is scary. I didn't realize that. That is some stuff.
That's like some. It's leaking like acid or something. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah, it's changing the garment. Like, man, that is whoa. Okay, verse 56. I'm glad we hadn't seen this in our lifetime.
Con.
Not like this. I mean, my gracious. Verse 56. And if the priest look, and behold, the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rent it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the wrap, or out of the woof. And if it appear still in the garment, even in the wrap, or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a spreading plague. You shall burn that wherein the plague is with fire. So this thing is so bad, you gotta burn it. That's the only way to get rid of it. That is some rough stuff.
Right.
Verse 58. And the garment, even either rat or wolf, or whatsoever thing, the skin, thing of skin it be, which you have washed, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed a second time and shall be clean. This is the law for the plague of leprosy in a garment, woolen or linen, even in the rat or wolf or anything of skin, to pronounce it clean or pronounce it unclean. That is a lengthy chapter.
Indeed. This one is as well.
This one is long too. Big guy, 57. Okay, kind. All right, Doc. Well, you go ahead and tackle this one. I'm gonna have
Uh,
about tongue twisted.
God, I got you. All right.
So that.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 14. Law of cleansing a leper.
Okay.
We know that our King and Messiah was cleaning lepers when he walked the
Yeah.
earth. You know,
Hmm.
verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, this shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field.
Mm.
Verse 8. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair,
Mm.
and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. But it shall be on the seventh day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows,
Mm.
even all his hair he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. So, this was another indication of someone that we would have known that was dealing with the plague. You see
Yeah.
somebody shaving all the
Yeah.
way down to their beard.
Yeah. Eyebrows gone.
Indeed,
It's the first place I've seen this shaving of the eyebrows.
it
Uh,
comes.
I think I've done that in my youth. You know, I remember having a razor. I tried to go with the grain, thinking it would, get the loose ones.
uh,
No, it took out the whole thing gone. I like that grain.
all right. I bet you look like Charlie Villanueva. What's his name? Play ball.
Oh, not the unibrow cat.
No, not him. It was Charlie Villanueva, and I forget
Oh,
exactly. I think he's got the same condition that they said Jada Pickett had.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So he don't have any eyebrows.
No, he don't. He don't. He
Oh,
was,
okay.
he was a good ball player. He was tough ball player, but
No eyebrows.
yeah, no eyebrows.
Yeah, I think I was young when I did that. Like in my, this was me learning, fooling with a razor, and yeah, I just caught myself. I'm gonna thin it out a little bit and get them loose ones. No, that all that hair came on. And I was like, oh. Then you walk around and people look at you, you know,
Right, right.
like, what? Yeah, so.
All right, God. Verse 10. And on the eighth day he shall take two he lambs without blemish, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3/10 deal of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and one log of oil. And the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. You know, I'm reading that and I'm
Uh-huh.
remembering Mashiach had healed those lepers on one
Go see
occasion,
the
and
priest.
yeah, he said, "Go, go give the
Hmm.
priest what's to be done." You know,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
this is what
keep
we're reading.
keeping the law. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
indeed.
verse 13.
Oh, 12, right?
Oh, Slakia, verse 12. And the priest shall take one he lamb and offer him for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering, in the set apart place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is most set apart. Verse 14. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot.
Mm.
And the priest shall take some of the log of oil and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest shall offer the sin offering and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. And afterward he shall kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall take one lamb for a trespass offering to be waved, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, and a log of oil, and
Hold
two
on, let's
turtle.
sleep
Slack,
out.
go ahead.
Let's look at that log of water. I don't think we've seen that just in this chapter here.
Con.
Yeah, a log. No, no,
La,
la.
la. I don't know why.
Let's see how they say it. Luke.
Luke.
He said Luke. Literally a log, a measure equal to about a half a
Leader.
liter. Liter.
I think that's what they're supposed to be. Liter. Liter.
Litre. Yeah. Okay. Kind. Yeah, I think we saw that a couple of times earlier. I thought, what one is a log of oil? But yeah, that's what we doing. Verse 22.
Con. Verse 22. And two turtle doves or two young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yahweh. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his own left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put of the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And he shall offer one of the turtle doves or of the young pigeons, such as he can get. Verse 31. Even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the law of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth to his cleansing of leprous house. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 14, verse 33. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aharon, saying, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I will put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is, as it were, a plague in the house. Verse 37.
36.
Slakia, verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priests go in to see if go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow straits, greenish or reddish, which in the sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest, Salakia,
Uh,
just reading that verse right there, are we talking about some type of mold or something? You think?
yeah, so this is basically this is where we see the leprosy actually in the house, uh, like in the actual walls.
Yeah, con.
Yeah, so if you see it in the wall here, so you're gonna shut it up for 7 days, and it's much like it is with the person. But if it doesn't clear, because you notice he don't say put any kind of ointment or anything on it. He says, give it 7 days, come back and look at it again.
Hmm.
And this is what I was telling you. I think they're gonna have to break it down, and I want to say it's either gonna have to. I was
Burn
thinking
it.
bury it, but yeah, they're gonna burn it. I was thinking
Yeah.
bury it, but they ain't gonna actually burn it. I believe.
And I'm trying to get a visual.
Hmm.
I've been in homes before. I've seen them because just in my line of work,
Right,
some of the homes are sometimes are in bad condition, and
right.
it appears to be some type of mold or something that's on these walls sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. According to the script, that's got to be shut up. Everything got to be taken out. It's got to be shut up, and they come back, and it should be burned.
Yeah,
But
con.
they got it where you can spray it with bleach, and
Hmm.
bleach kill everything.
Yeah, con.
So I think that's not according to the script. Because we couldn't go in there with bleach and just spray it. But I don't know. Maybe if you spray, well, it don't say. Well, I don't. You can't add to it, take away. So yeah, we
That's
just have
right.
to break it down and burn it. You know,
Hmm.
can't go in there with bleach.
Yeah, con. All right, verse 39. And the priest shall come again the seventh day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city.
Yeah.
And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones. And he shall take one mortar and shall plaster the house. And if the plague come again and break out in the house, after that he hath taken away the stones, and after he hath scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is threatening leprosy in the house. It is unclean. So, in the previous chapter, we were talking about how the priests are
Mm-hmm.
not only ministers before the Most High, but
Right.
they were physicians.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they're
Home
foremen,
inspectors.
inspectors.
They come and take a look at it. Up, got it. This one got to go. Yeah.
Indeed. And,
That's
and it's like you said, act like, what if these are some wicked priests? You know what I
right.
mean?
Exactly. Imagine the damage they could do. How much money they could take out of your. They just show up and come and look. Oh no, this is this. You don't see nothing, but he pronounced it unclean. And he come
God.
back 7 days. You think everything gonna be good. He come back 7 days, and he said it's unclean again. And now you gotta burn your house.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
If it's a
right.
wicked, if this, yeah, that's real. But sad that's that's what the mind goes to, because that's what we're used to dealing with in this captivity. But
Indeed.
again, the
Indeed.
Levites would have been our brothers. The sons of Aaron. These are supposed to be stand-up brothers. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
All right. Verse 45. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place.
so that's the city. That's the city dump, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed, indeed.
Uh,
Verse 46. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even, and he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague have not spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird,
mm,
and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. Verse 54.
mhm.
This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scald, and for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. Hallelujah.
Praise Yah. Yes, indeed. That was uh that was a lot of interesting information. Some I had seen, and huh, it's very, very simple. Not appeared, unknown or diagnosed. Yahuwah is an hell of water. Khan. So this is one of the sisters checked out the stream, and when she put up, she said this is very is that deceptive?
Oh yeah, Khan. This is very descriptive.
Oh, descriptive. Okay, slick. I was thinking, so okay, Khan. Yeah, no plague was unknown or diagnosed. Yahuwah is a power of order.
That's right.
Oh, praises. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Akoti, Yahuwah is a power of order. He is very detailed in his explanation. So all praises for that, and all praises for checking in and getting a little bit in with us. So that goodbye. But yeah, a lot of interesting information in this. Something that we don't typically see in this day and time, but it's very interesting nonetheless. Um, there's been a lot of talk lately about the changing of the priesthood back to the order of to the order of Melchizedek, and how a lot of this is going to be kind of obsoleted um, when that happens, because when Hamashiach comes and the order of Melchizedek is official, uh, we won't be dealing with plagues of leprosy or any of these things. There won't be any, that stuff won't be able to be around us. We'll be, you know, elevated to a place that we won't deal with these type of things anymore. But it's still for the historical standpoint, and to understand the chronological the chronologicalness of the what am I trying to say, of the scriptures. It's still good for us to read through this as we are, and it is developing and helping to understand um, the um, the text better. It's helping me. It's helping me, and I hope it's helping anybody else who's watching or who has watched or will watch in the future. So all praises to the Most High. Uh, yeah, go ahead. We'll go straight to final thoughts, and we're only an hour and 20 minutes in, but it's late, so it's quarter to midnight. So
Khan.
yeah, yeah.
You know, very interesting readings tonight. Uh, it's I feel a lot of thanks, to the Abba,
Mm-hmm.
for sending us his only begotten son, who was able to heal, you know, through him. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Didn't have to go through, what we're reading for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
to heal those. So uh in Mashiach, we have a king, we have a physician,
Right.
so many things. Like the priests were wearing many different hats.
Mm-hmm.
Our Messiah does as well. So
Okay.
all praises to the Most High for his never-ending love.
All praises, yes indeed, yes indeed. And it's ironic you say that. You know, as I took me back to where you know the Messiah healed on the Sabbath day, and the priest said, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?" And one of my elders, he said, "Well, when can you heal? What day can you heal at all?
Mm-hmm. Con.
You know, you coming to him for healing on the Sabbath. What day can you heal? What day you got the ability to heal? You can't heal no day.
That's right.
So what you worried about? Like the mentality. Like how you gonna heal? How you gonna get mad at somebody for healing somebody on any day? I mean, come on, that's completely out of your place.
Yeah, and we, man, land backing off what you're saying, the priests were set up for the people. You know what I mean?
Huh.
So if anything, if you want to question anything, why not question how I can be able to help the people this way? You know?
Exactly. That's what it should have been. But they had gotten to a place. They had gotten to such a place where they were just, you know, beside themselves, and they were just so, they wanted their position. They coveted that position, and that's all they cared about, and you know, it's amazing. One other thing I wanted to bring out too, and I didn't record it when we were down there when we were in Columbus. Remember, the elder did the waving. He did the waving
Uh-huh.
of the
Gone.
loaves. Yeah, I didn't record that because that was the first time I'd seen it, and it was that stays in my mind like whenever I see a wave offering, and I pictured him, doing that, and I was like, wow. So I had never made the connection in my mind, but I kind of thought it was like this, but
Mhm.
side to side, but this makes more sense. So yeah, I was like, wow. So, but yeah, but good read, good bit of information, lots of information concerning leprosy, and just to know this is not something that we'll have to deal with when the kingdom comes. But all praise to the Most High for uh, giving us all that we have and more knowledge and understanding. And look forward to getting into chapter number 15 tomorrow. And y'all willing, we'll do 15, 16, 17, and 18. And we'll call that a lesson. And also, y'all willing, we'll get into the street and hopefully touch some people with some flyers and some hands. And hopefully, plant some seed, and let the Most High get an increase. So, if there's nothing further, let's give all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom, Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah. And
Hallelujah.
until that day, I say shalom, family.
Shalom, Yasharal.
All praises.